Hi, my name's Tori Hill and I am a LuLaRoe Fashion Retailer, and this is my true honest review of LuLaRoe. So I decided that I would be completely 100% real and me. It is something that is super incredible about LuLaRoe and so special to me because I have completely found my confidence. I get to dress up and what you do in your little girl, you get to feel absolutely beautiful. I have found confidence, a confidence that I didn't even know I had, and I'm so grateful from LuLaRoe. And I think the best way that I can, review LuLaRoe is to go through and tell you about the past 2 years and my journey with LuLaRoe. So when I was pregnant with my second child, she's now 2, I was working in a situation for a small business that was absolutely awful. I barely spoke with the boss. We had a misunderstanding, to say the least, and it was a majority of women in the small business, and to not be negative, it was a little bit of a misogynistic, top power type of company. The way it was structured, it was very old school. And the women just weren't treated as fair. So much so that there wasn't even a maternity leave in their office book, like the manual. I referred to it when I got pregnant, and they didn't even have it in place. Flash forward to having my beautiful girl, Scarlett. I met with them. I'm going to say dates because it's important. I met them on December 12th. And I went there, I had my music jammed, I was so pumped and, ready to stand up for myself. I had this beautiful baby at home and I felt great. And it went the exact opposite as I had imagined. And I was so devastated, and I brought up that they didn't have, maternity leave in place, and I said, yeah, we know. Like, it was no big deal. So I didn't get the fair pay, and I realized in that moment, this isn't going to be an option for me to come back to. I have been away for 6 weeks at this point, and I just need to separate. This isn't for me anymore, and I don't need the negativity in my life. I had 2 children, 4 and infant, and maybe I should stay home or find a different job when, I had a savings account in place, and I knew that I had a few more weeks, if not about 2 months, before that money was gonna come away or go away. So I decided that wasn't what I was gonna do anymore. I walk away from the situation, and I am devastated because of how I was treated, but I knew that it wasn't for me. My amazing cousin, she invited me to a LuLaRoe pop-up. And at that time, I'm just going to be brutally honest, I thought it was called, that was when I was one of those ones that thought it was LuLaRoe. No idea what it was. I remember thinking, there was one time, people were talking about it all the time, and I was like, I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look up this LuLaRoe. I don't know what this is. I'm going to see what this is all about. I look it up on the website, of course, because I'm like an Amazon Prime go-to, order everything online about convenience. And I'm like, find a retailer? What's this? I can't order online? No. So I was just like, what's this? And so I get invited to a party a few months later, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what this is about. I would do all the reading. I see that I'm supposed to, there's, this is how you shop the albums, and I figure it out. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I've never done something like this. So I go through, and, I know that with so many claims that she's going to get, her hostess rewards. So I claimed 3 pairs of leggings. Now, this is December 16th, okay? So it's 4 days after that, monumental moment in my life that I've, made this decision not to go back to what I was doing. At this point, I'm always in a robe, carrying my hospital mug water, breastfeeding a child every 2 hours, showering whenever I get a chance, but which is very little, have my pajamas on all the time, never having me time. So I get this package and it comes in this poly mailer that is just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. And I'm like, well, this is really cool. Like, what an interesting way to send me this package. Not, you know, really paying attention to the fact that this is like a small business owner, still not fully comprehending what was happening with LuLaRoe. Just that I had bought something and my cousin got a reward. And I'm gonna try these leggings that everybody talks about. I put the first pair of leggings on and I bought like pattern amazing that, you know, I would have never done before. For whatever reason, no idea. Maybe, I think it was the colors that drew me, and I tried them on and I was instantly in love. Like, couldn't believe how amazing they felt. And so much so that I started to go shopping online for any and everything that matched my leggings so that I could wear them all the time. I joined every LuLaRoe group that I could find and started shopping. It was an addiction like that, so quick. And I was like, I should try the shirts. I should try this. Like, I wanted to match everything and I wanted to be so comfortable. And I was like, you know, this is beautiful clothing that I can wear when I go back to work. So this was my mentality, still thinking, you know, I'm gonna find a job, I'm gonna go back to look. So I'm still job searching at this point. And I get invited to go to a pop-up. I told my mom how interested I am, and she's like, come into this. It was like a drop-in shop. So it wasn't like an actual pop-up, more so they had open hours, and I went to the shop. And the person knew my mom, and they were very hands-on with my mom. But they weren't so much with me. And when you're newly, you know, having a baby, you're self-conscious, and you don't necessarily know your sizes or what you're gonna do or how you're gonna lose weight. And that particular consultant wasn't super hands-on with me. And I'm all about customer service. It's something that I have always been. I was a hospitality major in in college. And it's just what I'm driven by. It's one of the reasons I love LuLaRoe. And I was a little bit turned off by that. She is now no longer a retailer, but that's a different story. And so I went home, and regardless of that, I started thinking, you know, what they were doing, I could bring that to town, and I could be a shining star, and I could give amazing, you know, customer service to people who are similar to me and who are looking to feel beautiful and get confidence. And I just, like, my mind was racing, and I was like, maybe this is something I could do. And I just started doing a ton of research. I talked to my husband about it, and he's like, if that's something you feel like you want to do, absolutely. And I just did a ton of research. Now, if you're somebody who does research, or you type in LuLaRoe, it's not always the most positive things that you're going to see right away. So I made this mistake of watching all of those YouTube videos and panicked and was like, maybe not. And so come a few days later, I had joined a group that was giving away free leggings for a year with a giveaway that I'd seen on a Facebook ad. And she posted she made a post on her Facebook group that said, if you have ever been interested in joining LuLaRoe or the LuLaRoe opportunity, please send me an email here. So of course I was like, spiked my interest again. So I went right on there, I clicked it, and she emailed me. Now, if you ask my amazing, beautiful sponsor, Jessica Lavender, how many questions I asked her, she will tell you. I gave her, she still to this day tells everybody that I drilled her and that I was her hardest sell. I asked her so many questions, and she said that eventually, so much to the point, that one of the things I was most attracted to by Jessica is that she was right back. She had the answers, and she didn't make me wait. She was very thorough with me, and she was very honest. And finally, at one point, she just goes, you are asking so many questions, and you're asking all the right questions. If you decide to do this, you're going to be very successful because you are being very thorough, which of course made me feel really good. And I went more in depth with my own research, and I started watching positive videos on YouTube about how people onboarded and what they did in the meantime of onboarding, and how it worked, and what they did, and how quickly they paid back their onboarding, and different things. Because, you know, some people have that money up front, some people do tax returns, some people get a 0% interest credit card. There's so many different opportunities of how you can do it. And the, you know, theory is the more you buy, the more you're able to provide as an, you know, opportunity and sell. So I knew right away that I wanted to grow my inventory. It was very important for me. I loved styling and like doing outfits, and I knew that a bigger inventory would make that possible for me. So it was my goal right away. And at the time, one of my very favorite styles was not a part of the onboarding package. So my immediate, two of my favorite styles. Well, first of all, I was a TC, and at the time TC leggings were not a part of it. So I went in and I ordered 100 leggings when I had a chance right after my onboard call, and I added perfect tees because they were my favorite as well. So I spoke with Jessica, and I decided on January 21st, this is why I was saying dates. Again, I tried my very first leggings on December 16th, and I decided to become a retailer and sign my contract on January 21st. So at that point, I knew that my onboard call would probably come within 8 weeks, because at the time it was a long waiting list. And so I prepared, and in February I ordered all my supplies, Amazon Prime, yay, and got everything delivered. But we were also in the situation where we had to move, and I told my husband, anywhere we looked, I made sure that I scoped out a LuLaRoe. It was absolutely like non-negotiable. I have to have a LuLaRoe. This was going to be my career. This was going to be my job, and it was very serious to me. So that was a very important thing for me. And I knew it was getting close to the time they were going to call. I had my phone on speaker at all times, which, you know, with an infant isn't necessarily the best thing. And we were sitting about to have dinner one night, or maybe it was after dinner, because it was almost 7 o'clock. It was late at night, but it was California time. We're in Missouri. And my phone rang, and I looked, and it said California, and I looked at Drew, my husband, and I was like, it's here, it's them, they're calling. And I answered, and it was from that moment that I spoke to my first person at home office, and it was just positivity. And I just knew this is exactly what I was meant to do. It is so positive. Everybody at home office is incredible. When I went to the warehouse and got to pick my own order, every person I came across loved their job, loved LuLaRoe, and it was just a breath of fresh air to be around people who feel the same way as you, because you know, they feel like, you know, without us they wouldn't have a job, and we feel the same way about them. Without them we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And it's such a communal feeling around all of us. You know, we're all this one thread that without each other it wouldn't be. And it's such an incredible feeling, one I've never felt before. So I had to wait like 2 weeks to do my first pop-up. And I joined, and I chose the Lavenders to be my sponsors because they were predominantly online. And I knew as a stay-at-home mom that was what my goal was. So for my first event to be an in-person was, you know, kind of the opposite of what my goal was. You would have thought I would have had like an album sale. But I had so many people in town that were interested in LuLaRoe that I said, I'm going to have an in-home pop-up. And it was very successful. It was very exciting. But I do remember, like, it was brand new to me, and it was so different from what a pop-up is today. I'm so confident now in what I'm doing and the sizing and everything, and I remember feeling like a little overwhelmed would be the right way to say it, because I wasn't, you know, so used to the sizing yet. I just knew kind of how it was for me, but not necessarily for other people or body types. And then the one thing that I loved was a live sale. I was absolutely terrified. So part of the reason why I named this Finding My Confidence, I was like, I will never be able to do something like that. That's not me. And I remember talking to Jessica about that, and she was like, oh no, we don't do live sales. And now Frank and Jessica make the majority of their sales from live sales, because that's just kind of how LuLaRoe is. It brings you out of your shell and makes you into this incredible, confident being, and you do what the company, you know, kind of what the tradition and what's popular. And live sales are huge right now. And at that time, they were kind of up and coming, and that's how I had watched a lot myself. And so I decided I haven't taken my pictures yet, and it will be less pictures that I have to take. So why not go live? Which to me, I'm like, why am I thinking this? And I was so nervous. I spent all day printing and laminating. This is before you could just buy them on Amazon. Live sell, reverse numbers, and like being super incredibly nervous, and was just only focusing on those numbers, to the point where I was still doing it like 5 minutes before. And my husband was like, are you nervous? Are you okay? I was like, I don't have time to think about it. I have to finish doing this. I have to be ready. And so I finally got to the point in where it was, and my lighting hadn't come yet, and I hadn't set it up. I hadn't done any of it because I just was not like totally prepared for this, but I knew I wanted to do it. And so that first live was really successful. It was the first time that I had to ship and print off my Dymo printer and like do all these things and figure out, you know, at the time it was stamps.com, but it was my first like real experience of doing online shopping. And I felt confident within about a few minutes, and I've never looked back since. Live sales are my absolute favorite. I always thought it would be so silly sitting in a room by myself in the quiet talking to people, but you don't ever feel alone. The women, a part of LuLaRoe, you just don't feel alone. You're surrounded, and you feel like you are with your sisters, your family, your friends, and they're just right there. And it's just an incredible feeling that you don't quite understand until you're doing it. That's something different. That's something that I haven't had before. And then come all of the lawsuits or the bad reviews or all these things that happen, and, you know, people post about it. You have all these things happening. You know, you have this technological issues, and then they create the queue, and then people are not happy with that. You're always going to have a situation where people are not happy. Jessica, my sponsor, said, you are a unique person. You are somebody that is always confident. You're somebody that's always positive. You're somebody that every time I see has a smile on their face. You're so positive. You don't let the negative come in and shine on you. And I was so taken back by that, because of course, you know, negative things creep in my life. But when it comes to LuLaRoe, I don't allow that to happen, because like I said before, my situation in my job previously was so horrible, and the opportunity that I have with LuLaRoe and the street that they've, you know, paved in front of me, that I get the choices of what I can do for my business. What is there to complain about? What is there to be negative about? Of course I'm positive. I have nothing but this. It's so hard to find the words to describe how I feel. I have nothing but pure love for LuLaRoe, and I'm so gracious for you, Mark and Deanne, and everybody at home office, and for the opportunity you've provided me. I have nothing negative to say. I don't. And, you know, when there is hard times, and, you know, when we have stuff that aren't in stock or whatever, there are wholesale groups. We open our boutiques for each other, and our boutiques, our boutiques. I told you I was going to be real and not edit this. We open our boutiques open to each other, and we do takeovers, and we sell the thing. Mark and Deanne made that possible. They have Bless, a system that, you know, the old Audrey didn't work, so they made Bless. All they do is listen and make things better for us. So you have this system now that allows you to type in an ID number of your Lula sister and genuinely wholesale a product to the other person so that that person can sell to their customers. What is more generous than that? You know, like allowing somebody else to sell your product that you paid for. What do you get out of that? You know, you're helping somebody else. You're helping your sister out. That's incredible. And, you know, that might have not been an item that was in stock at the time. And, you know, we had convention, and it was my first convention I went to in 2018. And I was blown away by every part of it. There is nothing that gives me more of a feel than the LuLaRoe song. We all know it. We all feel it. That song plays, and it just, you know, it may, whether it's the LuLaRoe show or whatever, you know the song I'm talking about, and it just gives me all the feels. And it was all over convention, and I was in like heaven. I was just like, this is amazing. I was surrounded by all these people that feel exactly the same way as I do, and it was so great. And then it came to the incentives, and we were all in the convention hall, and I knew that I was going to get recognized for the 5K incentive. I stood up, and all of those people were standing up too and clapping. That was incredible. That was all I needed. And then they put up this thing that says, you've received this necklace, and you're getting $500 credit in your back office and all these things. And I was totally blown away, because that's not at all what I expected. I just expected to see my name on the hall where everybody could see it, where I could take a picture next to it, and for them to, you know, recognize us and have us stand up. I was never expecting that. Another thing that they do to show us that they care. It was a feeling I'll never forget, and I'm so grateful that I went to convention to witness it. Shortly after convention, top sellers started to leave. Patrick left, and people were very nervous. There was mass confusion about what was going on. It's not my lane. It's not me. It's not my business. It's not affecting me. Another positive part of LuLaRoe. And I think Mark and Deanne really noticed that that was what was happening. And they decided to go out and speak to all of us retailers. And they literally did like a tour. And they did a meet and greet where we would go ask questions. It was a Q&A, and have dessert with them after. And the closest one they did was about 2.5 hours away from where I live in Omaha. Omaha's where it was. And so I asked my mom to drive with me because we had family there, and it was going to be bad weather, and I didn't want to drive by myself. And she went and hung with family, and I went. But it was a priority for me to go. First of all, I was going to get to meet Mark and Deanne. Hello, amazing. Hashtag blessed, right? And people got up that were braver than me because I was too nervous, and asked real, honest questions that were important questions. And Mark and Deanne got real and honest with us, and everything they said has happened. Solid leggings have happened. Our websites have happened. I mean, everything. Like, Deanne had a sign that said, "You're gonna be so excited, you're gonna pee your pants." Like it was all excitement. And they truly listened to us, and they answered, and they were so honest. And it was just a breath of fresh air, because it was very apparent that they cared. They cared enough to stop what they were doing and go out and talk to us and get face to face and explain to us the situation that was at hand. It was very important, and I'm very happy that I went. We have a new manufacturer now, and they were working out the kinks, and we're getting things, you know, things that were perfected with our previous one are starting to happen with our new one. The sizing is a little different, But hey, that sizing different, it might just be the new normal, and that's okay. We just have to learn the new normal. It's just like I started my business over again. Here I am. I've got a new OS that's gonna fit size 2 to 8. That's fine. If someone's a 0 or double 0, I might recommend them a tween. If someone's a 10, I'm gonna say do a TC. You know, you learn the new normal, and you know, it's difficult for people who were in between sizes. But hey, you were in between sizes before, but that was the old normal. This is the new normal. We learn, we move on, and the new leggings are a little bit thicker and really comfortable. And some people love the new sizing. You know, some people don't like new. It's just a part of who we are, and we just have to grow. We have new onboarding package, which is absolutely incredible. You get to pick the styles that you want. If you love a Sarah, hey, I love a Sarah, so comfortable. You can immediately have a Sarah. If you want to have perfects like I did, perfects, whatever's in stock, you get to add. It's incredible. And the onboarding fees are a lot lower than they were when I started. Honestly, the new onboarding pack, the LuLaRoe opportunity right now is huge. If it would have been exactly like it was now when I started, like raise the roof. It's incredible. Like the LuLaRoe opportunity right now, thumbs up. The boxes, the inventory, everything we are seeing, retailers that have been in it for a while, we're like we are having parties on this. Like the live sales that you see where you're like, this is awesome. Like we get to do that all the time when the new inventory comes in. We have so much fun. When I have new inventory and I don't get to go live that night, I won't even open the box because I'm gonna be too excited that I'm gonna have to go live right then. That's what it's like right now. It's incredible. LuLaRoe 2.0, it's mind-boggling. And let me just say this. I've been in it for almost 2 years now. I would love to have a team, but you don't have to have one. I don't have a team, and I make more money than I did with my career before. It is not a pyramid scheme. Like, that's laughable to me. It's not. It's the most brilliant MLM I've ever become across. You do not have to have a team to make money. I've literally done this for 2 years and I've never had one person on my team. If that doesn't tell you something, like I've never received a bonus from LuLaRoe as far as having somebody on my team. Anything that I've received from them, I received a free 50-piece order. That was for a sales incentive that I achieved on my own. I received my 5K bonus. That was a sales incentive that I achieved on my own. It's an incredible opportunity, and it is not for everybody. I will be brutally honest about that. If you are somebody that is an entrepreneur that wants to work hard, that wants the opportunity to be at home with your babies, but you're fine putting them to sleep and working hard late nights, or you're fine sitting behind and being on your phone and doing something hard, if you put in the hours, LuLaRoe will give you everything that you can ever imagine. The dreams, the goals, everything, it's beyond. I tell you this because the new incentives and everything they're doing this past month has been incredible. I have a group of less than 1,000 people. I have less than 700 people. And when they knew that I was doing a cruise incentive for Leggings Day, well, I did a few. I tried every incentive they threw at me. I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I'm going to try hard. I cruise qualified 2 months last year. You have to have 6. I didn't make it, but when they threw out these incentives, I was like, I'm going to try, because at least I can say that I tried, because they gave me an incentive, and I'm going to do what I can to try to earn that. And then Leggings Day came. And my group pulled together, and I sold 96 pairs of leggings in one day, and they paid their invoices in one day. I had one lady who wanted to pay full retail for 4 pairs of leggings for me to donate to a women's shelter because she wanted me to have the cruise. I had multiple people join my lives, my album sales, every different avenue that I went down to try to get and purchase from me because they wanted me to have that cruise. And I had one lady, my very last invoice that was paid. I'm in Surrey, she was in Texas. The cutoff was 2 a.m. our time, midnight in California. Her card pulled up fraudulent. It wasn't going to be able to pay. She knew that if she waited a few hours, it would go through. She set her alarm for 1:30 a.m. Woke up, got her card, paid her invoice. It went through. She was my very last invoice. She pushed me over the $2,600 threshold. I can't even explain to you how I felt after Leggings Day. I made a huge post and thanked all of them because I felt like I already won. I've never felt the sense of community that I have except for my group. I post all about my life and everything in that group. I don't do it on Facebook, like my actual profile. I barely post pictures of my kids. It's all in my group. They're everything to me. They make everything possible. And they know that. And they know how special they are to me because I let them know. And I'm special to them. And I think that's the biggest part for me, is that they make me feel so special in a way that I've never felt before. I didn't feel that growing, in high school. It was an outcast situation. And I think about this group of less than 700 people who follow me, who want to know what I'm doing, who push so hard and spend their hard-earned money on me or on leggings to try to get me on a cruise. Because they know how important it is to me. I can't express my gratitude or the level of confidence that that group has brought to me. And it's all because of LuLaRoe. And that's what this review is about. There's so much negativity out there. And it's more of, it didn't work for those people. It is what you make it. And LuLaRoe is such an incredible opportunity of love, of purpose, of family, a blessing. It blesses so many lives. I can't tell you how many of my customers are people who have autoimmune diseases or clothes physically hurt them. And they try LuLaRoe and they stock up because it makes them feel beautiful and they can't feel the clothing because it's so comfortable. That's special. That's what LuLaRoe is about. I went to convention and tried on those jeans. I hadn't worn pants in forever. 2 years since Scarlet. Those jeans made me feel like $1 million. The clothes, this high-waisted skirt, this Madison, nothing I would have ever worn before. But when I put LuLaRoe on, I feel so confident. I go out, I rock it. I rock my patterns, I rock everything, and I feel like $1 million because that's what LuLaRoe does. We sell confidence. We sell love. We inspire. That's what we do. I love you all. Thank you for watching this very long review. And if you ever have any questions or want to know about the LuLaRoe opportunity, please feel free to email me, LuLaRoe, ToriHill@gmail.com. Much love, LuLaRoe. I love you. Mark and Deanne, thank you for this incredible opportunity.